This is a CF-31 antenna replacement. Start off by shutting your computer off and removing your battery if you've not done so already. And remove your hard drive or hard drive caddy. You can start by removing the antenna covers. The right antenna is going to be the WAN auxiliary antenna. To the left is the WAN and the WLAN, so the mobile data and the Wi-Fi main antennas. It's one antenna for both. There's a third antenna as well. Let's start by getting those antennas out. Removing the keyboard cover strip. There's 3 screws that cover those, that hold that cover down. You just take those 3 screws out and the cover just lifts up. And from there you need to get the hinge covers out of the way. So go ahead and remove this inner screws for the hinge covers. And then close your lid. Then go ahead and remove the rear screws for the hinge covers. Open the screen back up and remove the hinge covers. And then you can close the lid again and remove the covers, the screen bumpers. They cover up the antenna wires themselves running along the side of the screen. Just remove the screws holding them down and then it'll pop right off. Once you have those covers off on each side, go ahead and open your lid and remove your antennas. Unscrew your antennas and get the antenna wires pulled back. Just unscrew them and then pull the antenna wires back along the side. Get them ready to come out. And then open up your screen and there is a metal cover and plastic cover that cover the hole that leads to the bottom base that the antenna wires run underneath. It runs through that hole. Get those 2 screws out, holding it down, and lift them up so you can get the wires ready to run through the bottom and remove them. Once that's done, you can just get the antennas pulled up and get them ready to come out. Go ahead and close the lid for now. Flip the computer over and remove the bottom plate. So you will need to remove all the screws on the bottom plate. Once you have all the screws out, you can lift the bottom plate up. From there, you can start disconnecting the antenna wires. Remember where you disconnected them from. I find it best to take a picture of the exact layout. Helps when you go to put them back in. You can make sure that you put them back in the same exact spot if you don't remember when you go to put them back in. The locations of the antenna wires depends slightly on which model you have. There's not quite as many wires on the Mark 1 31s as there is on the Mark 2 and up. Start by just getting the antenna wires leading through the bottom that you have ready to pull through. The others will need to come eventually. Just start with the ones that you have ready to pull through. Once you have the two top antennas removed, there's one more antenna that you can replace that goes above the battery bay. It is the Wi-Fi or LAN auxiliary antenna. The antenna plugs directly into the Wi-Fi card. So to get to it, you will need to remove the WAN board, the WAN card slot board, SIM board. The SIM card slides into it. A lot of the antenna wires plug into it. You'll need to remove all the antenna wires, get the board up out of the way, and get to the Wi-Fi card. Once you have that board out of the way, you can unplug the black antenna wire. It's plugged into the Wi-Fi card, and undo the wire. It's tucked into the plastic cover that goes above the hard drive. And then it goes in underneath this clear plastic piece that protects the ribbon cables and the fan cable, all the connectors there. To get it out, you will need to remove the black plastic cover that goes above the hard drive caddy. There's a few screws there, it lifts up. And then if you lift the connectors up, you start disconnecting the antenna wire, the ribbon cables. You can get to the last antenna wire a little bit easier. It's actually taped to the base, so you will need to get the ribbon cables out of the way in order to get the antenna wire out. And there's another little piece of adhesive over by the fan, and then it runs alongside the fan. Just lift it up carefully. And then you just need to remove the fan exhaust filter cover, and the antenna is right underneath of it. There's just 2 screws to hold the cover on. And then there's 1 screw that holds the antenna itself on. Just undo that 1 screw, and then you can pull your antenna wire through. Now it's just a matter of putting your computer back together. Go ahead and start by feeding your antenna wire back through for the Wi-Fi auxiliary antenna. Once you feed the wire through, go ahead and position the board and screw it back down. Then go ahead and put your fan exhaust filter cover back on and screw it back down. Then go ahead and run the black antenna wire back through the way it came out. Run it alongside the fan. Tape it back down where it was taped down when you removed it. Just place it in place real quick, and then put your ribbon cables back on and your connectors back in place. Make sure to securely connect all the wires, including the fan wires and the speaker wire and the ribbon cable going to the mouse board as well, the mouse button board as well. From there, go ahead and put the black plastic cover on that goes above where the hard drive goes. Screw it back down, tuck the wire in. Once you have that connected and screwed down, go ahead and put your WAN board, SIM board back in place. Reconnect it and start reconnecting your antenna wires. Once you have the board screwed down, make sure you have all the antenna wires snapped in place where they belong. From there, you need to put your 2 main antennas back on, the WAN auxiliary and the WAN and WLAN main antennas back in place. Go ahead and just place them in position for now. Run the wires along the side of the screen. And then go ahead and start to feed the antenna wires through. Go ahead and feed the cables through. Open your screen up, feed your cables through the bottom. Pull the antenna wires through. Tuck them in as best you can. You can adjust them more once you have it set up, once you have the antenna wires connected. Just feed them through and get them as flush as you can. Once you've passed them through, flip the computer over and run the cables around where they belong and plug them in. Just make sure to reconnect all the antenna wires. Once you have all the antenna wires in position, just make sure you double check, make sure you have all the screws back in the bottom before you put the bottom plate back on. Then put the bottom plate back on and put the screws all back in, holding the bottom plate on. Once you have the bottom plate on, make sure to screw down your antennas. Do any final adjustments you have on the antenna wires from the top end. Before you put the cover back on, covering the hole leading to the bottom of the computer that the antenna wires run into, make sure they're clicked in place properly and tucked in properly, and then just go ahead and put that cover back on, the plastic cover and the metal, and screw it back down. You can also go ahead and throw the side covers back on that cover the antenna wires. Screw those down. Once you have the wires tucked in and you're sure they're all tucked in, if you've not done so already, go ahead and put the plastic cover back on and the metal cover back on and screw it down. It covers the hole leading to the bottom for the antenna wires. Then go ahead and put your hinge covers back on and screw them down. There's 2 screws for each hinge cover, one in the front and one in the back. Go ahead and put your keyboard cover strip back on and screw it back down. Go ahead and put your antenna covers back on and screw them down. And then once you're all done that, you're all done with the repair. If you have any questions, any comments, suggestions, just let us know. You can give us a call at our toll-free number of 877-202-7788, or you can send us an email to our tech support email, which is tech, TECH, _support, SUPPORT, @bobjohnson.com.